Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, man charged for allegedly stabbing another during bar brawl. Investigators assigned to the Portland Police Division have charged 30-year-old Roman Moore of Millbank District, Portland, with wounding with intent following an incident in the parish on June 27. The Port Antonio police say about 11:35 a.m., Moore was a patron at a bar when an argument developed between him and another man. During the altercation, Moore reportedly used a knife to inflict a stab wound to the man's head. Moore then escaped on foot in the area. The man was taken to the hospital where he was treated and admitted. Moore was later arrested and subsequently charged. A court date is being finalized for him. Portmore man gets over 17 years for fatal stoning of uncle during family disputes. A Portmore St. Catherine man who pelted his uncle with stones during a family dispute, causing his death, was on Friday sentenced to 17 years and 5 months in prison for murder. Heron Douglas was found guilty by a jury in the St. Catherine Circuit Court in March and was sentenced on Friday by presiding judge Justice Dale Palmer. Douglas was convicted of the murder of his uncle, Verrill Douglas. The Crown led evidence that in 2010, Heron was involved in a family dispute in Reedspen, Brayton, Portmore, St. Catherine, during which he hurled stones that struck his uncle in the head. The injured man was assisted to hospital, where he later died from the injuries he sustained. An investigation was launched by the Portmore police, which led to Heron Douglas being arrested and charged with murder. Man charged for assaulting policeman issuing ticket to motorist in Midday. A man has been charged by the police in St. James for assaulting a policeman who was in the process of issuing a traffic ticket to a motorist on Church Street, Montego Bay. Charged with assaulting a constable, obstructing the police, and resisting arrest is 26-year-old Dwayne Codner, a construction worker of Pitford in the parish. Reports from the Barnett Street Police are that about 8:30 p.m. on Wednesday, Codner repeatedly shoved the police constable in an attempt to prevent him from prosecuting a motorist for a traffic violation. The policeman attempted to place him under arrest, but Codner resisted and refused to be handcuffed, according to the police. Other officers on duty intervened and assisted with Codner's arrest. He was taken into custody, where he was later charged. A court date is being finalized. 2 cops charged for shooting a man in Seaview Gardens, each granted $1 million bail. 2 members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force have been charged in connection with the unlawful shooting of a man in Seaview Gardens, St. Andrew, in 2024. Corporal Lavon Francis and Kawane Johnson were on Thursday charged with wounding with intent and brought before the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court, where they were each granted bail in the sum of $1 million with 1 to 2 sureties and reporting conditions. They were ordered to return to court on October 28. The officers were charged following an investigation by the Independent Commission of Investigations and a ruling by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. INDECOM said the police had alleged that on January 1, 2024, a group of individuals fired in the direction of a police team, and the police returned fire. A firearm was reportedly recovered from the scene. However, an eyewitness account indicated that the injured man was not armed. INDECOM further stated that since January 1 this year, 10 members of the constabulary force and 1 member of the correctional services have been charged in relation to cases investigated by the oversight body. 8 of them were charged in connection with fatal and non-fatal shooting incidents and assaults. Last year, 24 JCF officers, 3 correctional officers, and 1 soldier were charged in relation to INDECOM investigations, including fatal shooting incidents. Man fatally shot by police in Old Harbor. A man was fatally shot by the police during an alleged confrontation in Old Harbor, St. Catherine on Friday morning. He has not yet been identified. The police say a loaded shotgun was seized. Reports are that about 2:15 a.m., a police team was conducting an operation on Gordonwood Lane in Old Harbor when they saw a man and attempted to accost him. The man, reportedly armed with a shotgun, challenged the police. The police took evasive action and opened fire, hitting him. He was assisted to the Spanish Town Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. 3 other suspects, described as the top-tier members of the Klansman gang, were fatally shot by the police during separate operations in Spanish Town on Thursday. INDECOM concerned about rise in police fatal shootings and the lack of body-worn cameras. The Independent Commission of Investigations is raising fresh concerns over the rising number of fatal police shootings, particularly those arising from planned operations, and the continued failure of the Jamaica Constabulary Force to utilize body-worn cameras during such encounters. In a statement on Friday, INDECOM sounded the alarm following 4 separate fatal police shootings in St. Catherine between July 17 and 18, which left 4 men dead within a 24-hour period. According to INDECOM, the total number of people fatally shot by the security forces in 2025 has now climbed to 177, which is a 121% increase compared to 80 fatal shootings during the corresponding period in 2024. Between July 18, 2024 and July 18, 2025, some 288 people have been shot and killed by members of the security forces, stated the oversight body. INDECOM notes that body-worn cameras were not used in any of these incidents. While the JCF has acquired body-worn cameras and the necessary supporting infrastructure, INDECOM says the devices are not being routinely deployed, particularly during planned operations, scenarios where the Commission argues body-worn cameras are most needed. Despite reported infrastructure challenges delaying full rollout, the equipment is available and it can be deployed for planned missions, especially when searching for wanted persons, the oversight body stated. In most fatal encounters reviewed by INDECOM, police officers reported that the suspects pointed firearms at them. However, the lack of third-party witnesses or video footage has made it difficult to independently verify those claims, the agency asserted. The Commission insists that body-worn cameras are critical not only for public accountability and transparency, but also for safeguarding police officers from false allegations. INDECOM recognizes the dangers that police officers face and supports the importance of apprehended wanted individuals. However, accountability and transparency are non-negotiable in modern policing, the agency said, adding that right to life principles must be upheld. The Commission is urging the GCF to prioritize the use of body-worn cameras during all planned police operations, especially given the sharp rise in deadly incidents. Probe launched into stoning of new JUTC bus. A probe has been launched into the stoning of a Jamaican Urban Transit Company bus hours after it was commissioned into service. The incident occurred about 7:45 Wednesday night along Washington Boulevard. Security manager at the JUTC, Radcliffe Lewis, says the bus was proceeding to Spanish Town when people hurled several stones, smashing the window screen. Mr. Lewis says no one was injured in the attack, but he says the bus will have to be taken out of service for repairs.
The fact of the matter is that this bus now, which is a brand new bus, will have to be withdrawn out of service to have the cracked glass or the broken glass rectified. And what makes matters worse now, the windscreen will have to be imported from China or any other country. So we will have to find valuable foreign exchange to import the windshield, as also foreign exchange to pay for the shipping and workmanship and the cost of the shipping And the foreign exchange for the glass is going to cost in excess of $1 million. In addition to that, the time the bus is out of service, that the amount of money that the bus would have made is not into this calculation. But the most prominent areas that the buses are stored are at 3 miles in the vicinity of Majestic Gardens, out by Harbour View, when you pass Cement Company going towards the airport, and the left-hand side where you have that socially challenged area there, where we refer to as inner city. You have along the Spanish Town Road in the vicinity of going towards 6 miles, that is Riverton City, and we have the other areas now are Seaview Gardens, and from 6 miles up to the boulevard. But there are other areas, but these are the main areas that we have in problems. And not to mention 3 miles. 3 miles is the most notorious area.
Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.